Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? I'm doing a quick live stream here. We're in the home stretch of the 2022-23 University of Hawaii men's basketball season, and currently UH is tied with UC Santa Barbara at 11-5 for third place in the standings. They were picked to finish second. However, history was made in the last road game. And for the first time, UH managed to complete a road sweep, but that's not the history I'm talking about here. What happened against Cal State Bakersfield was UH's 20th win of the season. That's right, 20 wins for the University of Hawaii men's basketball team. That is a feat that has not been accomplished since that magical year of 2016, the 2015-16 season, when UH won 28 games, and they would very well have won a 29th if things had gone their way, which even led them to the NCAA tournament. They ended up winning the Big West. They only lost 3 games during conference play, and ending up at 13-3. But anyway, with UH making the 20-win mark, last year they were a little shy. They ended up with 17. And partly was because, and I think they would have won 20 if they didn't lose Noel Coleman in the UC Irvine road game when he suffered a fractured orbital socket and had to take a separate flight back to the islands after that game. Anyway, we're coming down to the end of the home season, as I said. And fortunately, Noel Coleman will be staying supposedly with the team, the University of Hawaii, for another year. At least I'm very sure he will. But the University of Hawaii is going to bid aloha to 3 seniors, one of which who's been on the sidelines since pretty much day one of his tenure. University of Hawaii is going to be saying aloha to Kahuku products Samuta Avea and Kamaka Hepa, Kauai boy, who was actually born in Alaska, but did attend the Iolani school or other stuff. But I know his dad was born on Kauai. And they're also saying goodbye to Juan Munoz, who's been on the sidelines since the November 3rd exhibition matchup against UH-Hilo. And that was when he suffered an injury to his Achilles tendon, ultimately putting him out for the second season in a row. And, I've been digging through my memory bank, and the last guy that I can think of who didn't have that much time out on the court in his final season or in his entire tenure at UH that is of Munoz's caliber is probably Hiram Thompson from the late 2000s, maybe even 2010, because he was a good player who would put up an Ironman effort. But once the University of Hawaii did get a hold of a decent point guard in local boy Maya Ostrowski, who comes out of Aiea, who was also on the UH football team back in the day, it turned out to be a season where Hiram Thompson was relegated to the bench for the rest of the season. And I've also been digging through my memory, and there was another player that's actually a little more recent. Granted, it was about 4 or 5 years ago, and that was Sharif Jermay. But the difference there was that Sharif Jermay was actually on the court for much of his tenure. And in his final year, he was kind of relegated to the bench, even as a senior, which kind of surprised me a little bit, especially when Jermaine was part of the all-star team from 2016. And of course, he is called, and of course, his name is Sharif, but it is spelled like sheriff. And I would during his time here, anytime he would make so many triples, I would kind of call him the sheriff because he was kind of known for making those 3-pointers. But anyway, I do believe that University of Hawaii is just about where I thought they would be. I thought third would be the worst that they could do. But as of right now, they're currently tied for third, and they're going to need to hope for a lot of luck because obviously looking towards the end, we have UC Riverside on Thursday. We have UC Irvine on Saturday, and then we head on the road, and they will end their season when they always end their season on the road. They go to CSUN, and then they end at UC Santa Barbara. And I'll tell you what, of these remaining 4 teams, University of Hawaii has turned back 2 of them. UC Riverside and CSUN. Now, obviously, we are going to have to play well because obviously, if you saw in my past live stream or one of my prior live streams when I live streamed the UC Riverside game, they got a player, Lachlan Ulbridge, who is really known to be a points generator along with Zion Pullen. And they also have a competent 3-point shooter in Flynn Cameron. And quite frankly, UH is riding some momentum because they got close to a complete game against Long Beach State. And I think against Cal State Bakersfield, they got that complete game. They got that complete 40 minutes because they won 61-50. And it was pretty close, despite the fact in that Bakersfield game that neither team shot the ball really well in the first 10 minutes or so. But still, once Hawaii took the lead, they went back and forth for a bit, but once Hawaii took complete control of the lead, they never surrendered it at all. They were able to pull away, and ultimately they made Bakersfield say uncle. And quite frankly, I thought they got a complete 40 minutes against Riverside last month at their place. Not gonna lie, because in the Riverside game, they got a good start. I did not see a significant scoring drought, just like against Cal State Bakersfield and against Long Beach State. Because all year long, the story has been they either start out well or then fall victim to a cold streak or start out slow and have to play catch-up. And then the University of Hawaii would have to, and then it would either end with a win by the skin of their teeth or convincingly, or it would end in tragedy. And that's what happened against UC Santa Barbara. It ended in tragedy off an Ajay Mitchell layup with something like 5 seconds left. And I think UH would have won that one if they didn't have a bad first half. It's always kind of been a Jekyll and Hyde thing. I do think that UH is short a couple of wins because Cal State Fullerton swept them. We lost in overtime at their place, but that was a messy game. But that road game at Fullerton was a very, very messy game because 2 guys fouled out and the rest of the team was in foul trouble, and Coach Aran Ganat had to turn to the reserves. But fortunately, we were able to even take the lead and even send it to overtime. And unfortunately, when Cal State Fullerton came here, I was expecting them to get revenge. But unfortunately, UH had a stinker first half. They started out strong with a couple of triples, And then after that, they only made 2 baskets after that. And then they came back after being down 18 to almost come through with the win. And they had 3 chances in the final 5 seconds off a layup from McClanahan, which was no good. A tip from Hepa was no good. And a final shot from Avea was no good as well. And like I said in a past video, Fullerton won it. Props to them, but they did not deserve it at all. Because I do believe that the refs are being way too lenient. Or way too lenient and slightly incompetent. So anyway, obviously we're going to have to play well. Do I think we'll win against Riverside? Yes, I do. And there is some good coming. And I know that Coach Aranganan has been saying, stay together, best is yet to come. And I think that this is what I'm seeing here. And now that UH has a complete game under their belt, like they did against Cal State Bakersfield, I think they're riding some momentum now. Now, when UH made 10 wins after the UC Davis opener, I thought 20 wins was in the foreseeable future. And if they didn't do that, they would have had to play really, really crappy. And there was a time where that might have been a possibility. Not going to lie. Because they had Jekyll and Hyde first halves. First half is a bad first half, good second half, or good first half, bad second half. But anyway, I do think that UH is starting to pick up the pieces. And now that they got a complete game under their belt, they need to take advantage of this momentum. So we'll see what happens. Now, the UC Riverside game will be on local TV. But the UC Irvine game, which is senior night, will be on ESPN2. That's a 5 p.m. tip-off Hawaii time. And obviously, we're going to have to come through with wins. And hopefully, we'll complete a season sweep over Riverside for the first time. And we might seek revenge over UC Irvine. Because next to Cal State Fullerton, UC Irvine was another messy game. Probably the second messiest game I'd seen. Because I followed that game, and oh my God, there was almost nothing to be satisfied about. So we're gonna have to see what happens. So obviously, once again, we're gonna have to play well. The start's going to be key in these last 4 games. And if UH can get off to a good start and defend well, we can potentially end this on a 6-game win streak, because we were able to get 2 wins over Long Beach State and Cal State Bakersfield. And I actually had some doubts about Long Beach State because they haven't had much luck at the Pyramid. And last season they won at the Pyramid with 15 triples made, but they almost coughed it up in the final couple of minutes. Maybe in the last 3 minutes. So only time will tell. But I do believe we can win over Riverside, and I do believe we can win over UC Irvine. The question is, can we do it? Well, only time will tell. Anyway, all right, guys, that's all for today. And I'm gonna do some videos after Riverside and UC Irvine. Maybe I might do a 2-in-1. We'll see. But for now, Olama Pono, everyone.